Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
You're listening to Malaga Radio Diary. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Baptiste. This is Sports and Outdoors this week, covering Monday the 17th to Sunday the 23rd of August. And perhaps the first thing to say is this: you do not have to be sporty to have an active day on the Costa del Sol.
Exactly. You can start with an hour of yoga on the beach. You can try a paddleboard, take the children onto one of the floating water parks, walk through one of Malaga's most dramatic gorges. Or if you really want something more adventurous, get into the water and go canyoning.
And we are definitely not suggesting you do all of that.
No. This is really about one question: how active would make today better?
So let us start gently. Beach yoga. Because this week there are several verified sessions along the coast.
And I think the useful thing is not memorizing every class. It is understanding where they fit into the day. In Torre del Mar, there are municipal morning sessions at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. In Caleta de Velez, the pattern flips to the evening, with sessions at 8 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday. And in Malaga, El Igned has a Thursday evening session at Dica Playa Malagueta, then another on Sunday morning. There are recurring beach sessions in Nerca as well.
And one distinction we have learned from looking at all of this properly is that morning beach yoga is not automatically sunrise yoga.
Yes, by 8 or 9 in the morning in August, the sun is already up, but the beach still feels different. Quieter, less crowded. The day has not really gathered speed yet. And in the evening, you get the opposite feeling. The heat starts to soften. People begin thinking about dinner, and the beach becomes calm again.
So if the word sport makes you imagine training, timing yourself, or competing with somebody,
this is the other end of the scale. Move a little, stretch, listen to the sea, then go for coffee. That counts.
Now, if you are looking at the Mediterranean and thinking you would rather be on it than beside it, the next step is very easy. Paddleboarding.
At El Palo in Malaga, Kayak and Bike offers paddleboard hire through the summer. And if you have never tried it before, there is beginner instruction available too.
Which is reassuring because paddleboarding always looks very graceful from the beach.
Until you stand up?
Exactly.
But that is part of it. The floor moves, you wobble, and you find your balance. And if you fall in, you are already wearing a life jacket and the Mediterranean is right there.
And that is the useful distinction. You do not need to commit to a full day. An hour on the water can be the activity, then lunch can carry on exactly as planned.
And if that catches your interest, paddleboarding is only one part of the maritime side of the Costa del Sol. There are kayak routes, sailing, dolphin watching, and other ways to get onto the water all along the coast. We are not going to list them all here. We just want you to know that they exist.
For families, there is another summer activity that is very easy to spot from the beach. Those big inflatable obstacle parks floating offshore.
Slides, climbing sections, balance obstacles, walkways, people running confidently for about 3 seconds.
And then disappearing into the sea.
Exactly. There are verified floating water park locations along different parts of the Costa del Sol, including the eastern coast around Torre del Mar, La Malagueta in Málaga, several beaches around Fuengirola, La Cala de Mijas, Marbella, and Estepona.
And I think the useful idea here is that a family can partly choose the character of the beach day. You may want a city beach, a beach near the train, a resort setting, or simply somewhere where the children can do more than swim and build sandcastles.
But these are seasonal and completely dependent on sea conditions, so do not drive across the coast because you heard us mention one and assume it must be operating that day. Check the operator's current availability. Access rules and safety information first.
That is one where malagaradio.net can do the detailed work much better than us reading 11 beaches into your ears.
Now let us move from something you can add to a beach day to something that really is the day.
Caminito del Rey. The official booking calendar shows dates from Tuesday the 18th through Sunday the 23rd this week. Monday the 17th is not included. And even on the available dates, actual timed places still depend on live inventory.
If you have only ever seen photographs, the experience is quite difficult to imagine. You are walking through the Desfiladero de los Gaitanes, with sections of boardwalk fixed high against the rock walls of the gorge. The landscape is enormous, the path is controlled, helmets are issued, and because it is a linear route rather than a little circular walk, you need to think about the whole journey, not just the entrance.
This is the point where we might go there after breakfast is probably not enough planning.
No, this is a proper excursion. You check the official booking system. You understand where you are starting and finishing. You you organize the day around it.
And there is an age rule worth knowing. Children under 8 cannot enter. So this is not a universal family walk simply because it is called a walkway.
But if it fits your group, this is one of the great Malaga province days out. Not because it is the hardest thing you can do, because the setting is extraordinary.
Now, if Caminito sounds interesting, but you are thinking, I actually want to get into the gorge,
then we need to talk about Guadalmina canyoning near Benahavís.
This is a guided activity through the Río Guadalmina gorge. The verified operator has bookable sessions through the week, subject to live availability and conditions. The experience lasts around 3 hours, and in summer it can accommodate children from 6.
And what you are actually doing is moving through the river, swimming through sections, passing between rock walls, climbing and negotiating natural obstacles. There are jumps in places, but they are optional.
Which is important because canyoning can sound as though somebody is going to stand behind you and shout until you jump off something.
No. The guide makes the safety decisions. The route can be modified. Activities can be suspended if conditions are wrong, and you do not have to prove anything.
Adventure does not have to mean compulsory bravery.
Exactly. For some people, simply swimming through a narrow gorge with rock walls rising on either side is already the adventure.
And if you would rather go up than through the water, there is another weekend option around Ronda, a guided via ferrata at the Tajo.
Via ferrata is one of those phrases that sounds much more mysterious until somebody explains it. Think rock face, fixed metal rungs, a continuous safety cable, harness, and guide.
So compared with Caminito del Rey, Caminito takes you through the gorge on a controlled walkway. Via ferrata puts you onto the rock face.
And the verified operator runs weekend trips, making Saturday the 22nd and Sunday the 23rd viable dates this week, subject to actual places being available.
That is enough for me to know there is a difference.
You are not volunteering?
I am gathering information very responsibly.
And there is something else worth remembering. Being active here does not have to mean booking an adventure excursion at all.
Cycling and e-bikes are a big part of life around Malaga and the coast. Padel is everywhere. There are social sports, walking routes, and outdoor fitness spaces. And sometimes the active thing you do on holiday is simply rent a bike and follow the seafront for a while.
Exactly. The mountains are there if you want them. The sea is there. But you do not have to conquer either one.
That is our sports and outdoors guide for Monday the 17th through Sunday the 23rd of August. This week gives you genuine scheduled options from beach yoga to Caminito del Rey, plus plenty of ways to take the idea further if something catches your attention.
And if one of those ideas has made you curious, Malaga Radio already has places to go deeper. Active Adventures has dedicated podcast episodes on things like cycling, hiking, recreational golf, scuba diving, and water sports.
And on Feel the Pulse, we talk about active life much more broadly through the week. That can mean cycling, outdoor travel, foot golf, water activities, nomad life, and the other ways people actually use the Costa del Sol.
You can find Malaga Radio podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and the other major podcast platforms. For current places, activity details, operators, and booking information, explore malagaradio.net.
And throughout the week, Freshly Squeezed will keep up with what is happening that day, what is coming later, and the useful things worth knowing before you head out.
And remember, you do not need to become an athlete because you came to the Costa del Sol. Sometimes the right amount of activity is yoga on the sand. Sometimes it is an hour on a paddleboard. And sometimes it is putting on a harness and climbing up the side of Ronda.
I feel there was quite a jump between those last two.
That is why we are giving you choices.
From Carmen and me, enjoy the week.
And however active you make it, enjoy being outside.
Malaga Radio. Malaga Radio.